Hello, my name is Leah Skerry. I'm the co-founder and CEO of an education technology startup called Eyeread. I want to start today by telling you a story. Once upon a time, in a war-torn European village, there was a great famine in which people hoarded all the food they could find, even from their friends and neighbors. One day, 3 hungry soldiers came to town asking for food. House after house, the same answer was no, and the doors were closed in their faces. Then one soldier had a crazy idea. He went to the next house and asked for a pot to make stone soup. You know where this is going. The villager obliged, and then the soldier went to another house and asked for some firewood and water for his soup. Then the soldier went to the center of the town and started making soup, boiling only stones he had found from the ground. The villagers, curious, started to surround the soldiers and asked, "How do you make stone soup? May I help?" The soldier responded and said some cabbage would make an excellent addition to stone soup. To a second, he said carrots, and a third, garlic, and so on and went until there was a delicious meal for all. Launching a startup is a lot like the fable stone soup. You start with a crazy idea, and then you persuade others to bring the resources you need to make that idea a reality. And there are a few things that make stone soup work. The first and most important piece is the idea. The idea behind my startup, Eyeread, came after reading a 2014 report on declining literacy rates in Nova Scotia in grade 3 students. I myself had a friend who struggled with reading, and it wasn't until grade 12 that he was finally assessed at a grade 5 reading level, an all too common story. What's fascinating is that Carnegie Mellon published a study stating that young people today in a country with a strong gaming culture will spend 10,000 hours playing online games by the age of 21. Now, 10,080 hours is the exact amount of time a child will spend in grade 5 to high school graduation if they have perfect attendance. So this means there's an entire parallel track of education happening where children are spending as much time learning about online games as they are learning about all other subjects in school. This inspired me and my team to create a game-based tool that would accelerate how children learn to read using new technologies like infrared eye tracking on low-cost tablets. And thus, Eyeread was born. We didn't have a huge team or research and development budget. We weren't teachers or experts in literacy. We were just a few designers and technologists. But we had an idea, and next we needed to find a pot. A pod is a kind of incubator for your idea that enables you to bring the resources together you need to make innovation happen. In the case of Eyeread, our pod was my web firm, Norex, which is internationally recognized for its web applications. Norex has created a culture of innovation, which has become its engine of success. In 2010, we launched Innovation Time, which allows employees to dedicate 20% of their time to revolutionary ideas. This time has created conditions that enable employees to do the types of experimentation that entrepreneurship requires. It's a space and a place where they can tinker and fail without that normal organizational pressure. Using Norex's Innovation Time as our pot, we were able to bring together that diverse team to launch our first prototype and the company successfully. After several months of exploring the use of infrared lights to accelerate how children learn to read, we were able to see strong correlations between comprehension levels and eye patterns in primary to grade 3 students, which is really amazing because this is the first time in the world this research has been done to measure individual reading differences in children. But we realized that if we really wanted to help children learn to read in the most efficient and effective manner, we would have to answer why they responded in a certain way. What we needed to do was to incorporate many other indicators aside from eye tracking, like natural language processing and text, to not only measure comprehension, but their emotional state and the varying degrees to which they understood concepts within a game. And that meant collecting huge data sets. So we started recruiting experts in machine learning and big data. We knew we didn't have the budget to recruit these experts, so we needed to get them excited about the idea itself. We needed them to help us make stone soup. In our email, we wrote, Everyone helping our initiative shares a common vision: to change the world by bringing literacy to hundreds of millions of children who do not currently have access to education. We receive responses from around the world from experts like David Ferrucci, the co-creator of IBM's Watson. These experts are helping us take our focus from eye tracking and to a new holistic approach, which has meant a significant setback in our timeline and a new focus. And some might see this as failure. But any new quest, even one that's ultimately successful, is going to involve setbacks and failure. And when you're trying to lead innovation, you have to set that expectation of failure. And more importantly, not be deterred by it. This notion takes us to the secret ingredient that really makes stone soup work, and that's grit. Angela Lee Duckworth, a psychologist at the University of Pennsylvania, defines grit as passion and perseverance. Grit is stamina. It's working day in and day out to make that vision a reality. Grit is what was required of the soldiers when the doors were closed in their faces. Grit is what enabled them to take a setback and transform it into an opportunity for innovation. Grit is what it takes to make stone soup. This year, Eyeread was accepted as one of 100 teams around the world to compete in the Global Learning X Prize, a 4-year, $15 million challenge funded by Elon Musk to bring literacy to 250 million children around the world. In many ways, the Global X Prize is in itself a stone soup. It's bringing together diverse groups from around the world around a single inspiring idea. Many of the teams competing will spend millions of dollars more than the $15 million prize to find a solution. And the 99 teams that don't win will all help advance the cause in some way because everything we're doing is open sourced. It takes an entire village to make a stone soup. And likewise, no one person can launch a startup. It takes the investment of a community, a diverse range of skill sets, and a whole lot of grit to turn an idea into a reality. Because the day before it's a breakthrough, it's just a crazy idea. Thanks.